Hello, welcome to Sewing Street. We are so excited to have you here, Debbie.
Oh, thank you very much.
Very
I'm
much.
so excited to be here.
It's been just a whirlwind, hasn't it? I keep using that word, but I can't think of another word to describe how crazy the last few months have been.
How quickly this has all come together, it's just beyond belief, seriously.
Trust me, we are like swans right now. It looks really nice, but underneath there's so much still going on, which is it is very exciting as well, all the talks that are going on. But it's brilliant to have you on board anyway.
Thank
it
you.
really is. Did you have a lovely Christmas, New Year? You're still very, very busy, aren't you?
Yeah, working all over Christmas and New Year, which is just how I wanted it. But yeah, lovely, thank you.
Yeah.
You?
Oh yeah, lovely, really nice. Especially with, as I say, the last couple of weeks have just been so exciting. We've been desperate to get on air. So obviously at the moment, we haven't really got any kits to show you, for you to buy, but we're going to be showing you lots of techniques, and then moving forward, next few weeks, months, we're going to be bringing you lots of kits.
There's lots of kits coming up. We've got more panels coming up.
Amazing.
We've got some fabulous fabrics to be working with as well, and lots of books too.
Oh, brilliant,
So lots
brilliant.
in the pipeline.
Talking of books, actually, this is one that we're going to be looking at today, or working from today, isn't it? Tell me about this one.
Build-A-Bag tote bags. Sorry, I've got 4 of these. It's part of a series of 4 basically, and it's a little bit different. Well, it's very different from other books because there are no patterns involved. You actually get plastic templates.
Right.
So there's no cutting out, there's no pinning. You simply plonk these on top of your fabric and follow the instructions and cut around them. So it's the easiest way to actually make a bag.
I don't think I've ever seen a bag book that offers that. I've never seen templates.
There isn't one.
This. Oh,
This is it.
There you go. There you go.
It's my own invention. Basically, that's one of the totes, which is place on fold with the template. So that's double the size. So that's one of the different designs that you have.
Oh, I mean, well, there's
But on
15
here-
different designs that you probably can see all around the set.
There's satchels, this is the tote bags, there's backpacks, and there's occasion bags as well. So this is a mixture of all of them, and they're all very different. And I make all of the bags very different as well. I make a lot of bags. Hundreds of bags.
Lagoni's a lot of bags.
But literally, I think I've got about 500 bags in my loft. I call it insulation and soundproofing, and that's how I get away with it. But I don't like to repeat anything. So although there is a satchels book, the satchels will be slightly different from one that I've made for a magazine or a kit or something like that, because I don't want you to buy the same thing twice.
That's it.
That's a
that's
waste
good.
of money.
Yeah, that's good. So throughout, obviously, when we see you next time and the time after that, hopefully we're going to be going through lots of different techniques.
Yes.
But obviously, just for time purposes, we aren't going to make a full bag
No,
right now. We are going to go through
need a
some
bit more
of those.
than 20 minutes.
Yeah, we're going to go through some of those techniques, though, aren't we?
Yeah, I'm going to show you how to make a letterbox zip, because the different styles of bags in the book, I don't put zip pockets and patch pockets on the inside of all of them because it's the same technique. So I'd rather fill the pages with more projects. But all of the templates have got this gap in the bottom, which I'll turn over so you can see it, and it says zip. So that's your hole where you're going to pop your zip in. So that's the right measurement for the size of the zip that you have. So I just want to show you really quickly how to do it.
These are great that you can reuse them. So, like you
Yeah.
said, you don't want to be making the same bag over and over, but different fabrics, they can change the look of the bag completely.
Well, that's it. It's like giving you the recipe, but you can, or giving you the, I'll give you the recipe, you go out and buy your own ingredients.
That's it, yeah.
So, if you don't like the fabric that I've been using, use something else. And of course, you can tweak them and make them different sizes and add your own, I don't know, embellishment. I like metalware on a bag.
Yeah.
I think it makes it, it gives it a shop bought look.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So if you wanted to add extra D-rings and charms and things like that, that's fine. So this was going to be a double pocket bag, but we're not going to get that far. So I'm just going to show you how on the lining I would put my, my pocket. So before you start to construct anything, you'll need the size of your pocket to go behind the lining, and you'll need 2 pieces of that. And these are going to go right sides together. Now on some of the bags, you could make the pocket the same size as the lining. This one's going to be sitting just in the centre there. So you'd normally stick a couple of pins in that, but I'm not very organised today. And then pop your roll over the top. So centralise this, measure it and everything, and make sure it's sitting in the centre. And then literally you're going to draw around the box. I'm using a heat erasable pen. You don't need to do that because you're not going to see the stitches from this anyway.
Brilliant.
It's not officially a letterbox zip. I just think it looks like a letterbox and you post your fabric through it, so it kind of made sense to me. And then we're going to sew around the edge of the box, and we're using quite a small stitch. I've not used this
I
one
was
before.
going to say, the 720, this is, yeah, you're just going to use whatever stitch is there.
As long as it's a straight one and a short one, that's fine. Oh, this is nice. Do you know, I'm really not in the market for a new sewing machine. But this is very nice. Of course you can. Of course you can.
It is a lovely machine. In fact, you're going to be seeing over the next few days. I'm not sure what day it will be on, but keep your eyes peeled because this one will be, we're going through all of the features and functions with Victoria Peak, so definitely watch out for that.
So keep these lines really nice and straight because this is going to determine the size of your zip hole.
Your letterbox.
Your letterbox. So if you get a wobbly stitch line, you're going to have a wobbly hole, basically. And down the other side. And this could be an outside pocket, maybe on the back of the bag. You could put a couple, one on each side of a bag. And not necessarily just this bag. You can do this technique on any bag you like.
See, this is good because there's a lot of patterns that don't have a bag, you know, zip part to it. So this is handy to then just use as transferable skills.
And I like to teach you how to use a skill that you can use on lots of other things, like you say, transferable. Because once you've learnt how to do this, you can put it in any bag that you like.
That's it.
Could be even be an inside pocket in a jacket.
Nice.
And it's really easy, but it looks really impressive as well. It could be a zip pocket on a jewellery roll, maybe. I'm just drawing a line straight down the centre with a V shape at each end, and I'm just disappearing for a second while I find the scissors, because they're really not organised.
Oh, I know. It's tele sewing's a bit different to sewing at home, isn't it?
Where everything's all around. Okay, so the line that I've drawn down the centre, I'm going to cut along it. So snip up to the end.
Are you a crafter that has lots of pairs of scissors? They look like a nice big pair of
I don't.
shears.
I've got 2 pairs of shears. These are my small ones. I just think once you find tools that you really like, you fall in love with them and don't use anything else. It's like sewing machines.
Yeah.
People ask me constantly, "Oh, but you've got lots of sewing machines." I've got one.
Yeah.
I need one.
Yeah.
It's a nice one. But no, I do collect vintage sewing machines, so I've got about 20 altogether.
Oh, so there you go.
Most of them don't work, but sewing machines that I use, just the one. And my overlocker, of course.
So you're snipping right into those corners?
Right into the corner. So you want to cut as close to the stitches as you can, but without actually cutting through the stitches, because then you're going to have a hole in your work. So really close. And then we're going to post the lining through the box. And the easiest way to make that neat is to just press it away from the seam to start with. Like so. And then post it. Like that.
I like how when you name, you know, your techniques, it is kind of, it does what it says on the tin.
It does, doesn't it? I think it's a placket.
Is that the
its
technical
official
term?
name?
Right.
Yes, but no, looks like a letterbox to me. So, if you haven't cut right into the corners, you'll get a little bit of puckering, but it'll be on the lining side, so you don't see it anyway. But just pull out the seam so it sits flat all the way around. It's so satisfying doing this. I think.
Oh, yes.
I like figuring things out. So I saw this. I saw a finished zip in a bag, I think it was, and then I go home and think, how am I going to do that?
How is that?
How am I going to do
Yeah.
it? And I just find it so satisfying.
Since I've learned to sew, though, it is that when I look at garments in the shops, I think, how have they done that? And you can see the way, or bags, you can see the way it's constructed, and it's actually quite logical, isn't it?
And isn't it sometimes really bad? Yeah.
Yes.
You're probably the same. You tend to notice more when you pick something up. The patterns don't match. The hemline isn't straight.
Yeah.
I am turning into my mother. She used to walk around. She'd never buy anything. No, she wouldn't buy anything. She wouldn't buy anything that she could bake or grow in the garden if she can make it for less. But I do remember going around shops with her and she'd scrunch fabric off that creases really easily. I could make that. And I am literally turning into her. So, there's my hole. I do tend to buy zips that are too long and cut them down to size.
Okay.
Because you can't make a short zip longer. So I've got a whole box full of really long zips or continuous zips. I will, excuse me.
The zips and the rolls are really good, actually, aren't they?
Yes.
That, you know, you get all of your sliders and you can cut them to size.
Because then you can have a 2-inch zip if you need one, or a 2-metre zip if you need one.
Inserting a zip, though, is a lot of people sort of fear, isn't it, in bag making?
And you know, it's actually really easy.
Okay.
There's lots of different ways of fitting zips. I mean, the one at the top of the bag here, for instance, that's simply set into the lining with a tab on each end. That could be, as you're constructing a bag, that could be any style of bag. So anyway.
So if one of the patterns doesn't suit you or you're a bit scared of, you can use different techniques.
Yes, absolutely. But all of the instructions in the book are for the basic.
Okay.
And then there's a section on letterbox zip, so you can add them as you want to. So if you are a new sewer and you think, I can't do that, it's not an integral part of the plan of making up the bag. You can do it without.
You need to speak to our buying department, and we need to get loads of your books in, because these are really lovely. And like you said, it's not just a bag technique. There's so many different ways of constructing a bag and making a bag, and lots of different styles, all different.
And techniques such as using bias binding and piping, that one's got piping around the bottom. Those are techniques that you can then use with other projects as well, and not just your bag making. I don't like a one-trick pony. I don't like, you buy a pattern, you cut it up, you make a bag and that's it. I like a resource or something that I can learn from or share from. I also like things that I can sell. Feel free. Anything from my books if you want to. I'd love to hear when you do.
That's good to know. So, you've just stuck
I'm
that
just
in
carrying on with that, telling you what I'm doing, aren't I?
All you've done is put some fabric glue onto it and
just a fabric glue stick because it's easier than tacking. And I'm literally going to sew around the edge of the box. I should probably do this a lot more carefully than I am.
Would you at home do this with a zipper foot on, or do you not need it?
I don't tend to, no. I've got quite a large foot on my sewing machine that sits over the top. But if you prefer, then you can do that.
These are plastic teeth, aren't they? So
yes.
It doesn't matter if your machine goes over, it's not going to hurt it.
Go carefully when you go over the teeth, but don't do that with a metal zip.
No.
Because you will break your needle.
Hurt your machine. So when you get to the zip...
Slider.
Yeah, the actual slider.
Leave the needle down.
Okay.
Pick your foot up and move it out of the way. If you've got an extra high presser foot, lift it. They're bound to have. Then just move it out of the way, but make sure your needle's down, because then when you carry on your stitch line, it'll be in a straight line.
And if you aren't as confident in doing, a really strong top stitch, you could do it in a corresponding colour.
Yes.
Or you could do twin needling if you want to do fancy, then
whatever you
can
like.
play around.
So if you're not a confident sewer, then same colour will disguise a few of those wobbly stitches, and also use a patterned fabric. Because you imagine that kind of fabric, your stitches will be disguised inside the pattern. Plain fabrics are really going to stand out, as you can see. You can see when you go wobbly.
But that would look so beautiful, even on the front. It could be a feature part of the bag, or a jacket, like you say, or on a sleeve even.
Yes,
you see pieces jackets like that, sports jackets with sleeves, with zips in them.
So I'm going to put the back of the pocket on now, and my zip needs to be trimmed down a little bit more.
So you can just trim that down, and you don't need to put any extra back and forth
just
there.
Drop it down, just put my hand down there. And then we're going to sew the back of the pocket on. So I just want to sew the pocket, not the bag. So I'm going to fold that out of the way and literally just sew around the pocket and keep moving the bag bit out of the way. And that's about done.
So it is a really quick way of inserting a pocket and a zip into a bag, isn't it?
It is, and I like a pocket in a bag. Otherwise, everything just rides around in the bottom of your handbag, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
You'll never find your
I like that lots of your bags have actually got structure as well, because I'm using a bag at the moment that just collapses straight away, and I can never find anything in the bottom of it. So pockets are always handy. Structure, a lot of, if you're using interface or anything, then that will help with it.
Yeah, and I like to choose where I put my pockets, particularly on backpacks. Mm-hmm. I never understand why pockets on backpacks are so accessible when they're behind you.
Yeah, yeah.
You're on a busy tube or a bus or something. Yeah. So a zip pocket on the on the back side, on that bit.
Yeah.
So if you were to add, that's your backpack from the back. If you add a zip to that side of it, nobody can get to it, can they?
Yeah. You end up, because I always end up walking around cities like this. With it on the front. I like this one though, look, this is lovely. So yeah, look at that. Oh, have we got this one in the book as well?
That's in the backpacks book.
Backpacks book, amazing.
So you haven't seen these yet, or they weren't on Sewing Quarter.
They're absolutely gorgeous.
When we do go live proper and do the proper telly stuff, we're going to bring those on.
That is so exciting, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
It's a really, I think it's been brilliant though. I must say thank you so much as well for dropping everything to come and do the show today. Thank you, because it is brilliant to have everybody all getting back together, the family.
It's just, you come into the studio, it's like, oh hello.
It is.
It's lovely. It's
And lots of people that you've worked with years ago as well, milling around the studio.
Yeah, it's really nice. So pockets all sewn and finished on the back. And on the front, you don't see the lines where the pocket is. You've just got that nice, neat letterbox, and you can see it's nicely lined inside as well. Really simple.
Really handy, isn't it? And again, whether you're inserting that into a bag liner, would you then just... You would do that as your bag lining?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that would be the lining side. On this particular bag, it has 2 pockets. So that's one side. That would be the other side. I need to complete this at some point, don't I?
Yes, you do, to add to your 500 stash.
And then your lining would drop into these 2 sections when they're sewn together and then sew around the top to hold them in place. So that would be seen on the inside of that. Like so.
That's lovely fabric as well, isn't it?
Thank you very much.
That is beautiful. Is that one of your fabrics?
Yes.
Gorgeous. And so tell us about your panels as well. So you've got panels.
Yes. Do you know, things really have happened as quickly as you're saying it.
Yeah.
It is quite bizarre. So I've been designing panels away from shopping telly.
Right.
And one of the panels that I designed has actually come into stock, and I was all ready to put it on my website. And I thought, actually, no, I'm going to launch it here.
Brilliant.
And it's sewing machines. You'll love it. I hope you'll love it. You'll love it.
You'll love it.
We
Watch
might
this
not.
space.
Oh, I hope so.
Do watch this space. Make sure, if you can, sign up to the newsletter as well, and that will give you all of the info of when you can watch on different outputs as well, because we're hoping to get onto Freesat, Virgin, Sky, everything. So do make sure you sign up so you do hear all the news first, because there's lots going on, isn't there?
There is. There's an awful lot going on. So you're going to have lots of things that you're familiar with and lots of new things as well, which I think is so exciting.
This is what we wanted to make sure that we keep, dressmakers, bag makers, of course, quilters, toy makers, as we've had Jane Greenoff here as well doing cross stitch. So we still want to keep lots of familiar faces, but we've also got so many plans as well to venture into new mediums, which is going to be...
And what I love
really
about the channel as well, and the people that work here, they're open to suggestions.
Absolutely.
So if there's something particular that you'd like, or you haven't seen, or you can't source, or an idea that you've got, people here actually listen to you, and it could actually happen for you.
I think it's proof in the pudding, isn't it? That the fact that we're back, the fact that we're all here is down to you and all of your messages and your comments, and obviously Steve Bennett thinking, actually, there's a lot of people that there is a gap on television for a dedicated sewing.
So be careful what you ask for.
Yeah,
because this time you got it.
That's it. So we look forward to seeing you again. Anyway, thank you very, very much for that. I know that we haven't had anywhere near enough time with you, So next time, we're going to be bringing lots and
Next time
more.
we'll do the full demo. We'll have all of the books for you, including the 2 that you haven't seen yet, and we'll make a bag.
Yes, full bag.
Make a bag.
Full
Start
bag.
to finish.
This one though, if you do want to watch how to do that post box, what's the technical
Letterbox.
term?
Oh, a placket.
A placket.
Yes.
If you want to learn how to do a letterbox or a placket, then hopefully now you'll be able to catch up on YouTube as well and sew along, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Be able to watch and sew along and do that technique as you go. Thank you so much, Debbie.
No,
it's been
you.
a pleasure to be with you.
you.
Thank you. And do make sure you sign up, have a look on YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Don't forget Victoria Pete, Jane Greenoff, Jenny McCreary. We've got everybody here. So thank you very much. I'll see you soon.